So then, I quickly want to talk about the Jakarta ePrix. I didn't get to it at the time because, if memory serves me right, I forgot that it was on the calendar. I feel like it was one of the more recent additions to the calendar for last season, but especially given the fact that there's not going to be one next season. Apparently it's been cancelled, and Sanya's the only one that's actually going to be an addition onto the calendar. I think I want to talk about it for a few moments. Going to be one of those one-take ones again, but the main reason I want to talk about it is because of the fact that Dan Tickter won. Like, it's incredibly impressive that he managed to win. I know that there were different things that helped him out. De Vries breaking down, for instance, and him having a penalty beforehand. The issues for the Maseratis to a degree, but to a much less degree, obviously. The collision that took Gunter out. All these different things where everything just fell right for him. What's funny is he had the 3 Swiss licensees right behind him in Mortara, Buemi, and Muller. But he did everything that he needed to. He got lucky with the VSC, yeah, when that last one came out. I think it was the one for De Vries, wasn't it? Which, unfortunately, disadvantaged his teammate, Adrian Mortara, who was like, I have attack mode left. This is not fair. But that's motor racing. Yeah, it was a fun one to watch. It was a fun one to sit down and watch, and to see the different performances that came out of the race as well. But I think one of the big things that did stand out for me was that year-old Porsche powertrain going through and getting a win. Because Tickter is a guy who, regardless what you think about his off-track and sometimes on-track antics, has got pace, has got raw ability. And it's nice to see that be rewarded once in a while. Even if it's with somebody who you disagree with in this way, that way, or the other way. If they have the raw talent, it's good to see the raw talent on display. Further down the order, it was Oliver Rowland with 1 point, which was after a 5-second penalty. He would have been in the top 10. But, yeah. Naturally, a penalty ends up getting in the way. It was a collision with Gunter, wasn't it? But in the end, it didn't end up harming his title bid that much. I just wanted to have a talk about it because Jakarta's one of those venues that I do enjoy. It does give me some complicated feelings in that it was, like with Sao Paulo, one of those purpose-built tracks that masquerades as a street circuit that I've always had problems with whenever F1 does. I mean, Jeddah, case in point. It doesn't circumfloor. It can just go, yeah, we don't need to care about the regs. It's a street circuit. Kind of. I like my street circuits to be actual street circuits. Not ones that, well, I mean, technically a car could go on it, so it could be a street circuit. I don't mind there being permanent parts of a street circuit. I mean, I grew up playing the F1 games in which Spa was partially a street circuit, partially permanent. I like Singapore, which is partially street, partially permanent. But when you've purpose-laid all the specialist tarmac out, it just feels a bit different. Because, I mean, even with ones that I like the XL circuit or Tempelhof, they've not necessarily had to change the facilities to host a Formula E there. They're just working with what's already there. If it was that the Jakarta track had naturally ended up looking like this over the years, then yeah, sure. But there was a real trend of Formula E, and I feel like it's either going to increase or it's going to decrease as Formula E moves to more permanent facilities anyway. But this trend where Formula E was starting to have more of these tracks in there. Like I said, I don't like that Jeddah has it for F1. The Jeddah Corniche circuit's not a street circuit. But, yeah. Thanks for listening, folks. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you again soon, but until next time, it's bye-bye for now.